We are Team Decarbonization, with the case wind propulsion's potential for decarbonising modern shipping by DNV. The shipping industry is about to reduce at least 50% of greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. It can, for example, be done by developing new technologies that reduce CO2 emissions. EEDI is an index for new build ships to ensure they are designed to be energy efficient and thus less polluting. EEXI is an index for already existing ships to ensure they achieve the same designed energy efficiency as a new build ship. The EEXI is not yet in force. So what can ship owners do to comply with the regulations? A new build ship automatically comply with the regulations, but for existing ships, ship owners can make technical changes to the ships, such as propeller appendages, energy savings devices, propulsion and route optimization, and different wind propulsion technologies to comply with EEXI. Different sail technologies that can be used are soft sail, rigid sail, hull sail, towing kite, wind tubing, and water sail. This graph shows a simulation of fuel consumption for 3 different rig types: flattened water sail, wing sail, and rig sail. At the road Argentina, UK, both ways. Flattened water sail has the greatest fuel savings in this simulation. A comparison between the same wind technologies as the last slide, but a vote between Canada and Africa. Flattened water sail together with rig sail had the greatest fuel saving. Another comparison between the same wind technologies on the route Brazil and the Netherlands. The rotor sails together with the wing sails again had the greatest fuel saving. Different barriers as cultural safety and ports and roads were found. Ship owners fear that customers are insecure leasing a vessel retrofitted with water sails due to safety reasons in ports and maneuver heights. Not all roads can be operated by a vessel with water sails due to wind conditions, and not all ships can be retrofitted with water sails due to the lack of space on deck, like for example container ships. Several simulations show that water sails reduces fuel consumption. Among existing customers, the fuel saving expectations were met, and sometimes the fuel savings were even greater than expected.
Of the 56,000 merchant ships trading internationally, Norsepower estimates 30,000 can be retrofitted with flattened rotors. The thrust from a flattened rotor comes from the lift that wind causes via the Magnus effect. The total thrust depends mainly on the direction and speed of the wind. As the wind conditions play a major role in the efficiency of the flattened rotor, careful route planning is essential. There will be negligible results on routes that have only parallel wind. Here we can see a map with Norsepower simulations of the routes around the world. The data is from NASA Wind Atlas and IMO's EDI resources. The more yellow, the more efficient. Dark blue routes should not be considered. Vessels that are suitable for flattened rotor deployment include tankers, ro-ros, cruise ships, bulkers. While container ships would benefit from flattened rotors, they require specially designed high foundations to place rotor sails above the container stacks, and this will increase the installation cost significantly. One surprising thing to consider is the fact that a good deal of the ships are already compliant to EDI requirements.
To get some validation to our background findings, we did a questionnaire that was distributed to shipping companies by email and LinkedIn. We also contacted existing customers who already installed Norsepower water sails to get some customer experience. The response rate to the questionnaire was not statistically valid, but the findings were that to fulfill emissions targets, companies most likely renew their fleet. Not many knew about water sails and would consider other technologies as propulsion optimization, energy-saving devices, and propeller appendages to reduce CO2 emissions. We contacted all existing customers, but not all replied. Some information was therefore obtained from publicly available sources. We found out that fuel-saving expectations were met and the ease of use of the system were met. Barriers as customer concerns, safety, suitability of routes and ports, and general cultural concerns were all overcome. The biggest obstacle seen was the payback time.
With all good intentions and environmental aspects, a business case is still only attractive if it's profitable. If a venture is financially viable or not boils down to investment against savings. In the case of a rotor sails, investment and upkeep versus fuel savings. Determining factors for fuel savings are sailing speed, wind conditions, and time at sea. Ship size or type mainly plays a role in how many and how big rotors can be installed. Some ships and routes cannot be reasonably considered as an applicable option. We selected 3 different ship types and routes. Norsepower provided the simulation data. The calculations were made with worst-case scenario figures, omitting inflation and legislative incentives that can have a significant positive effect on the profitability. While the interviews proposed a 6 to 7 years payback period, this could not be achieved with the confidential budgetary prices given. An estimate of 20 years service life was selected to observe the full feasibility of the investment. As we can see in these cases, some routes and installations are paid back late in the observation period, but as previously stated, the outcome can change drastically with few changes in variables. Here you can see in red what raising the fuel price to $500 per ton and $30 per ton carbon tax will do to the outcome. Okay. Simulations and real-world cases and interviews show that rotor sails are a viable option for decarbonizing the shipping industry. There are barriers, but these consist of ungranted fears easily corrected by better informing and documentation. Financially, cases are not on par with what the industry is looking for, but can change drastically with legislative incentives like a carbon tax or emphasis on greener values. The business case calculations were made with gross estimations and budgetary prices and do not portray the reality. Most likely there's a deal to be had. There's also a leasing option available that might make more sense for faster turnaround times, yet with lower profits. We recommend that. As the barriers are mostly based on fears and cultural aspects, the real-world cases should be thoroughly documented and properly marketed to change the way how the industry sees the rotor sail propulsion technology. In very recent days, there have been some positive and then again thought-provoking happenings in the rotor field. These should be studied. While the real-world results show that even 20% savings can momentarily be achieved, even better savings are possible with the software-driven continuous real-time route optimization, meaning that the route is constantly automatically being optimized for rotor operation. We see that FREDLUND rotor technology will have a major part in future shipping and see no reason why it could not be the main propulsion in future fully automated vessels. Thank you.